call Rudy Giuliani and tell him the buildings were going to collapse on that day. He escaped his bunker. Read it here. We have mainstream sources that even the pilots and the hijackers were not
There's
on.
an air traffic controller from Logan Airport over there. He's working on that day. It was an inside job. They wouldn't let him do his job. He's right over there.
Fireman? He lied to you about weapons of mass destruction. Who wants to know what else he might lie to you about? Come on over. Come on over.
We're allowed to do their job.
I think you want that. They let September 11th happen to us. Let's learn about it. Everybody go home, study for yourself. We got one left here. Who wants it? Come on.
Zero. How many dollars have they made?
What's this about? It's about that President Bush has lied to us about weapons of mass destruction. I feel that he is possibly the buildings fell at free fall speed, which makes it seem like it was
Prior knowledge since 1994 that the planes theory. Everyone knows it here.
We've had global
But it has to be the
positioning.
main issue.
You're saying that the bunker in 7 World Trade Center? Is that
Yes,
the one
that's what we're talking about.
But it was on fire for like all day, right?
No, two isolated pockets of fire. I mean,
It wasn't all day. It only collapsed. It wasn't even
Fire doesn't melt steel. We
It was in
have,
Venezuela.
just like your oven is built out of steel and holds a controlled burn.
Collapsed into the columns were mostly on the south side, right? They collapsed in there. I mean, I know
But it was a free
someone who
fall
was like
speed.
his lawyer that was upstairs with him, and he was up there with who?
See,
A teacher that I worked with.
We let it happen.
Teacher that I worked with, her husband is like one of his main lawyers. He was up there with Giuliani and this team, and actually her son was visiting for the day. They were up there, and Giuliani came down on an elevator, and then they were stuck up there. They had to come down the stairs and jump out a window. That was.
I recommend you look because Giuliani says he wasn't even in Building 7 that day.
Okay.
Maybe, would you like to at least look at a flyer?
Prior knowledge, it was either gross negligence or otherwise. It was
Just
at
check
the
it out.
very least gross negligence.
I'd
That
honestly-
is enough to get this administration impeached.
Well, I would just tell you that my main concern is buildings. The buildings, both the World Trade Centers and 7, fell in collapsed in free fall speed, like dropping a penny off the building.
But my question is, why wouldn't, if you're going to do demolitions, why would you demolish it to look like it was demolitions? Why wouldn't you demolish one side so it fell down and it looked like it was?
Because they didn't want to destroy the other buildings
Because
around.
all the other buildings were owned by giant banking firms in Washington, D.C. and trade organizations. Building 7 actually did collapse in more conventional terms. Building 1 and 2 was not, it wasn't necessarily controlled demolition in the sense of conventional terms, but it still fell in free fall speed, which we need to highly question. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I don't have that formal
Scientists
training.
looked at it, or if you look at the weight that comes down above whatever where the columns are broken.
Free fall speed, free fall.
Basically, once it starts, that there was free. I mean, I don't know.
Scientists say that pancake theory collapse actually slows down instead of picking up speed. And then actually with pancake theory, if you would think about what the government, there should be a pack of pancakes. Where are the stack of
You're saying
pancakes?
that they set munitions on every single floor?
Not every single floor.
How do you demolish it so that it comes? If you're not demolishing every single floor,
World Trade Center actually at that point had been in bankruptcy for a couple of years and had huge asbestos problems, and they actually were rotating a lot.
I'm saying, what is the explanation for a free fall if it's not possible for just a few floors of columns to go out?
I would say my hypothesis is controlled demolition.
On every floor?
Not necessarily.
Not on every floor
See,
below it?
actually,
How do you make a free fall?
in normal controlled demolition in factories, it's every other floor to every third floor.
Okay.
If you remember a lot of mainstream footage about explosions in the lobby, there's no way a fireball came down the lobby because the building was built in 3 separate sections. There was no elevator from the level of 78th floor to the lobby. Most people, 9/11 rescuers said, hey, there was bombs that went off in the lobby, marble slabs falling off the walls. they looked like the bomb went off in the lobby. Now we have people like Gonzalez, what is it, Richard Gonzalez?
No.
Either way, the maintenance man that worked in the center, in the World Trade Center for over 20 years, and he was in the basement, and his friends got hit. There were explosions down the basement levels.
What happened? What about all the people that were on the flights?
I think that's where.
Russia or something?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I don't know. I try to focus on what I think we can observe.
Are you saying there was a missile that went in the Pentagon too?
I don't know. You know what I'd say about like when it goes to those levels of conspiracy or whatever you want to say?
Well, I'm just talking about eyewitnesses that saw a plane go in, and then there are people say no, there wasn't a plane.
There's people that said they've seen everything. A small Cessna, a large 747, a missile, almost every single thing. You know what I have to say is, okay, look at the evidence, what the whole size looked at. Honestly, I never saw fins or any wings out on the lawn in front of the Pentagon.
You had pictures of the turbines, you had pictures of the jet engines.
There was one picture of the turbine at the Pentagon. And
A plane hit the Pentagon, guys. A plane hit the Pentagon. It wasn't a missile.
I'm not saying what it was.
It was a plane hit the.
But like,
A plane hit the
if
Pentagon.
you're at all interested enough, if you're talking to me at all,
Whether
I would
it
have to say
was
research
flown by an
free fall-
idiot who was called
free fall collapse.
what? The person who flew the plane was called Dumb and Dumber,
So
right?
he was asking me a lot about different variety of conspiracy, and I was basically focused on the collapse because free fall collapse is the crux. Would you like the flyers?
He's all about it.